everybody. Welcome to my menagerie of mess. I have a bazillion things to show you, so I'm going to do it quickly. We're working on a cutting board that is a non-cut cutting board because we're going to be using epoxy all over this. And I say non-cut because you shouldn't be cutting food on epoxy. Bottom line, you do what you want to do. The board itself is bamboo. Got that from the Dollar General, like $4. And I have painted it. Obviously, we're going to be doing an ocean scene. If that wasn't obvious, well, now it will be. And I have, to save time, I have painted this twice. And I blended the colors together. The colors that I used, going from darkest to lightest, is deep navy on the bottom, and the midsection is pool blue, and the closest to the shoreline is blue cotton. And I just blended those with a chip brush because you're not really going to see them. I just didn't want to take the chance that the brown was going to show through. Next, what I've done is I mixed up a boatload of epoxy, and that's what's in this bowl, but I have separated it into smaller containers. As you can see over here, I have already colored my epoxy that's going down here, and I did some of this ahead of time so that it wouldn't take so long to do this video. The lightest color, which is here, is done with light blue, and this is a color shift mica powder. The next color is, let me see here, deep sky blue, which is also a color shift. I used all of these colors out of the same grouping. And then this one is just plain blue, which is right here, color shift mica. Now, they do throw a little bit of a green in them, which I'm okay with. It's ocean scene. I may be putting some glitters in here just to give it a little more whimsy. But what I've chosen for the blue is blue jeans, and it's an extra fine glitter from Hobby Lobby, if I'm going to do it. For the midsection, I have a glitter from Walmart, which is called Caribbean, and that's extra fine glitter as well. And I may throw in a little bit of drops of Jupiter to kind of pull it up toward the shoreline. I'm not sure about this one. And then I do have from the Glitter Horse store, sorry, the drops of Jupiter is from the Glitter Grind. I should have said that. And from the Glitter Horse store, I have So Salty. Oh, it's fitting for an ocean scene, right? And I may put some of that up here when I do the foam. Now, for the sand part, which we're going to do first and get that done and out of the way, because when I throw the water, if it goes into the sand, you get it. We're going to start with a light colored sand. And then I am going to incorporate some darker sand that I made with which I made with alcohol inks when I did a beach tumbler that I just didn't upload a video on. So I have my cup right here of just plain epoxy to put my sand in, and the darker sand I will sprinkle down here toward the shoreline, indicating wet sand. I also have, I will be putting names on here. This is a Mother's Day gift for my daughter-in-law. Tim Holtz butterscotch, where the heck are we? Just a little bit to give it a little more depth. That's all I'm looking for. Mix that in. And I also have these very, very small granular pieces of stone sand that I want to incorporate on here. And I have these, I think it's called abalone shell, but I have these shell pieces that I want to drop in random spots as well. I want to show you on the back side of this, I have taped it off so that when the epoxy rolls over the sides, any of the drips will catch onto this tape. And then as this starts to set up a little bit, I can peel that tape off and I won't have to deal with sanding of those drips. Hopefully. Hopefully, but I'm trying to preempt any of those issues. All right, now I do expect it to go down into the hole there. And I did not treat this upper end, so I do expect that I'm going to get a few bubbles. But I think there's going to be enough going on up here that you're not really going to notice them. I think. Once it's set up, they're not going anywhere. The blue goes here. This is starting to get warm, so it's a good thing that I'm getting it onto the board. I'm going to hit it a little bit with the torch just to warm it up. I'm going to use this just because I can't find my other squeegee. I do have one that has paint on it, but I don't want to put that in there. So we're going to start out with this. And I could have put down a clear layer of epoxy. I certainly have it. But I just didn't even think about it. There, just being honest. Didn't think about it, so we'll see how this rolls, and if we need to, we can put some clear on. Of course, once I hit this with the heat gun as well, it's going to travel. So just put that over there. I really like this color shift mica. Wasn't sure if I'd like it for this, but I think I am going to like it. And there'll be white little snow caps down this way too, because why not? So I'm pushing some of that over the side, and the rest that has to go over the side will happen when we heat it up. I'm not really wanting that to be like super straight either. Of course, that digs right in and wants to move everything around. Of course it does. Of course it does. Okay. There. Now we're going to go to our next color. Hit this before we do this part up here. My little embossing gun. I will put it on silent while I'm doing this. Okay, this is still pretty warm, so I'm not going to stick my fingers in it, but I am going to finger paint a little bit to kind of swirl it out. In the meantime, I'm going to be mixing up my white that I want to use. And that's going to be a combination of my pearl white mica and my Piñata Blanco alcohol ink. I use this little spoon that I got from the dollar store to measure out my mica. The micas that I put for these colors, I used 1.5 of this little bowl to put into. Some of them were about 15 milliliters. So somewhere between 10 and 15 milliliters worth of mica. And this, as you see, I just put in almost 1 and just a smidge more. Okay, over there you go, so you don't get stuck in resin. And this resin is starting to set up a little bit. I don't really want that to happen. Okay. You stay in there. I really don't want it to set up because I do need to use it for the edge so that I can move the white. When you're making waves, you want to have your clear resin and your white behind it, and you push the white over the clear, which makes the foamy and the lacing. Yeah, this is starting to set up quite a bit. Okay, now this is also going to hold my carrier resin, clear being my carrier resin. Okay. Let me get this cleaned up a little bit. I might not have to completely change my glove. Oop. Hopefully that stays put. Well, it's not going to. So just go there. And I need to put some of my clear resin up here. Not a ton. I may have to get my other heat gun. Ooh, boy, that's really giving me a lot of resin. Okay. We're going to do this in small increments. Like that. And let that do its job. Let's see how that does for us. Now, you can wait until this first bit dries and settles before you do this part. And I may be sorry that I'm doing it this way, because it just may not work. But we're going to try anyway. Whoops, wrong end of it. On the wrong side. Okay. And since this is already nice and warm, we're going to get this on it. See what we can. Whew. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. think we have a really good start. Here's a little better shot of it without that huge overhead glare. Still a little up toward the sand, but I think it's coming out pretty cool. So stay with us, folks. I've let this sit overnight so that it would set up, and it's all set up nicely. I feel like it needs a flood coat, so I am going to do a flood coat on here, and then I'm going to add the extra white here and blow it up so that we get a little more of the foam on the beach. I also did a little coaster, but I'm going to make it into a keychain or key ring, whatever. And I just used what I had left over, but I didn't have any color mixed up, so I went ahead and used the drops of Jupiter glitter from the glitter grind. And I threw it in there and just made the best of what I could do. So I will be filling this up today and topping it off. I'm not going to put vinyl on that. So I'm going to go ahead and get my, I think I better torch this just a smidge a bit. There we go. Get rid of some of those bubbles. Give myself half a fighting chance. I haven't mixed up my white. Maybe I should do that. I did shake up my piñata, my Blanco Blanco. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I guess we're doing 5 drops of the piñata alcohol ink. And if you hear what's going on behind me, that would happen to be my little pups. Once they do one thing, they think that they can do it all the time. And so, yep, they're back in here again today. I don't particularly like them in here when I'm doing resin, but I do have windows and doors open because, la la la, it's beautiful out. Finally. Okay, that's not like super opaque, but I think it's opaque enough to give us the foam effect. We are going to get into it, and I'm just going to pour this on here, and I'm going to smooth it out with my hand. Just going to go ahead and get this on here, and I'm going to blow it up into it and hope that I get the effect I'm looking for. I hope. Put a little bit up there, a little bit more up here. Okay. And I'm going to commence to heating. We're ready to put our vinyl on here, and I have arranged the pieces on here to see which way I needed them to go. So I cut this on brown vinyl so that it would kind of look like it was written in the sand. I'm going to bring you in for a closer look because of the glare. We all know the dreaded glare. Let's see if we can. Well, I'm going to have to turn it this way so that that light's not on it. But cute, right? I like that the brown of the vinyl is basically the same color as the shoreline. I wanted to show you this. Well, could be coaster, could be whatever. It's going to be a keychain. And it's going to be a heavy keychain. So I just wanted to show you what this looks like. Oh, the back has got a lot of sand on it, but that's basically what we got. But that'll go as part of this. And I didn't put the kids' names on it. So this is a Mother's Day present for my daughter-in-law. And I really hope she enjoys it. And if you enjoyed watching this, I appreciate you for being here. And I appreciate your support. And I know that I'm doing some different things. And I hope that you'll understand that if you're a crafter, creator, the same as I am, that you understand and you also have that problem where you wind up doing a lot of different things. I don't see it as a problem. It comes in pretty darn handy for a lot of things. But, you know, I hope you'll still support me, even if I'm not doing a tumbler. So, thanks for coming along for the ride. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. And until we meet again, toodles.